Hey, hey, Christine Burke here. How are you? Happy Monday. Coming to you live, trying out StreamYard today. Different thing. I am living. Oh, there I am. Okay, lighting not as good. Cool. I am living here on Facebook and I'm living over on YouTube. How cool is that? Fun times. So happy Monday. Who am I? If you've never bumped into me here on social media, Christine Burke. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a coach, and I run a social retail business. I have lots of fun here on social media. My favorite thing to do is to help and guide and maybe inspire, support, cheerlead ambitious women who are looking to take back confidence and build a business that they can really love and enjoy, because who doesn't want to build a business that they love and enjoy, right? And I was going to say in the pockets of their time, and it's a little bit like that. But nowadays, how we are right now with the way of the world and social media, it has never been easier. And I don't like to use the word easy necessarily. It's never been easier to build something, right? Like whatever you want to call it, side gig, side hustle, part-time business, whatever it is, it's never been easier right now. Okay. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between influence and leadership. And I've been thinking about this a lot because I have the luxury of working with some pretty freaking incredible female leaders. And ever since I started working my own business, building something which was 8 years ago, when a woman who was a patient of my husband's, he used to be a chiropractor, said, geez, these products that you love that help me drop 10 pounds of 10 kilos actually of post baby fat, that I could build my own thing and make money from home. Right. And so at that point, I drew a line in the sand and I was like, that's too good. I'm doing it. Right. And never looked back from there. So at the end of the day, I have had the pleasure to work with some incredible female leaders, and there's incredible women in this space. If you've ever been in the network marketing space, the online business space, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Women dominate here, and there's a few reasons for that, but I'm not going to get into that today. But I've had that, I'm going to say luck, but really, I mean, luck is just it's a combination of putting yourself in the right circumstance and getting off your ass and actually doing something about your situation, right? That's actually what creates luck, right? And so, have had a few women mentors, really incredible. And, lots of things happen in this space, right? Lots of things happen in all professions. And so, there were something was happening last week, and it just made me really think about this difference between leadership and influence. Okay. And also I want to talk about this because a lot of people are turned off, especially women. I might say a lot of women are turned off because they think they have to have all this influence on social media before they do anything. They think that them having tons of influence, how they see it, is the thing that's keeping them from building a business or making money or doing like having success, right? And I just want to clear the air a little bit because this word influence or influencer gets bandied around a lot, okay? And there's a lot of people in this space who actually get knocked off their perch or get knocked off their game because they compare and they look at other people who get all the engagements and all the likes and all the this and all the that. They get all the attention on social media, and it's that has allowed that person that they think have success, and they compare, right? And that takes them out of their game because comparison sucks. It's not good for our mental health. It's not good for business, right? And so I want to clear the air a little bit and talk about these things because at the end of the day, influence and leadership are involved with each other, but they're not really the same thing. They're not really the same thing. And there's some important differences I want to make. Okay. So, first of all, influence is the power to indirectly or intangibly affect a person or course of events, right? It's like you being able to influence somebody's behavior, right? You're influencing somebody to do something, right? And so, conversely, leadership is something that is often mistaken by position, right? Like it's like a manager in a company or a CEO in a company is often labeled as a leader, right? But true leadership really has nothing to do with position. It has nothing to do with, levels. It has to do with partly influence and how people show up, what they do for others, how they serve others, right? That's what true leadership is about, right? And so I see leadership really as somebody who has influence, because as a leader, it's important that you have influence, but it's like, what do you do with that influence, right? And that to me defines what kind of leader somebody is, right? So I hope that makes sense. And so with leadership, comes responsibility, right? Comes integrity, good leadership, right? Now you have people who can be influential, but they're not always guiding. They're not always having influence with integrity. You know what I mean? Right? There's a lot of people out there that have influence right now. Like, I don't want to mention any names, but I'm in Canada and there's a particular person, like, I wish I could shout it out from the rooftops. There's a particular person who sits at the very tippity top of this country right now, who is so far from a leader. Like, I like the influence that this individual has done nothing good for the people of this country. Absolutely nothing, zero, right? So that's kind of what I mean, right? And so again, sometimes we see this influence on social media. We compare ourselves. We think, oh, they're an influencer. I could never be an influencer, right? And so I want to talk to you about that, because at the end of the day, people who are influencers, right? They can influence buying behavior. They may influence somebody to buy a product or a service, right? Like they have influence. They can influence outcomes based on popularity, right? And that is a big difference, because you can have influence and be popular, and you can also have influence and be a leader and demonstrate leadership. Okay, that's the big difference. The real kind of leadership is people actually take responsibility, and as I see it, they do something worthy with that influence. Now you might argue, well, why isn't that worthy if someone's influencing people to buy a product? Because products and services do great things for people, right? And so I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, in terms of how this affects you, maybe you're somebody who's running an online business, or maybe you're looking at running an online business. Maybe you're a woman out there like me at this age, and you're thinking, gosh, what could I do now? Because these are the conversations that I have right now. Okay. And so what is influence? I'm gonna refer to it as leadership. All right. Because influence is influence. Leadership is the influence with the integrity, the responsibility, the guiding behind it. Okay. And so, what does that look like in 2023, right? We have just come to the end of the first quarter of this year. I'm floored. I can't believe, can you believe 3 months have gone by already? And that might be a little bit painful for you to hear that, because if you are running a business or you're really trying to level up this year, maybe you're thinking, oh my goodness me, what have I done? Have I stuck to what I said I was going to do? Am I doing the things? Am I showing up here on social media powerfully? Am I doing everything within my time, my power, my energy to do what's necessary this year to keep my business going, right? Because for a lot of people, it's just going to be keep the business going, right? And so I listen to a lot of Gary Vee, I don't know if you guys do, but I think he is an absolute boss. Like, if there's whenever that thing comes up on Facebook, like, who would you love to meet? Like, if you could spend an hour, he'd be the dude. I would spend an hour with him because he is so brilliant when it comes to social media marketing. But on the other hand, he's got the biggest heart ever. Like, tell me if you agree, if you love Gary Vee. He's got the biggest heart ever. And he talks a lot about gratitude. He talks a lot about mindset. Like, he is awesome. Anyway, I've been listening to him a lot lately, and, 2023 is looking very different, right? If you felt it in January, there was definitely a shift. There's been a shift in buying behavior. It's a crowded place around here on social media. And so, why am I saying this? Because leadership is going to be very important for people this year who actually want to make some money, have some influence, build their brand, or keep going with building their brand, and actually like keep driving forward, right? Leadership is going to be really important, right? So what does that look like for the average person? Well, number one, like I said earlier, it's going to look like, and really none of this is new. Well, this isn't new, is that like ceasing the comparison, right? No more comparing to Tom, Dick, and Harry and what they're doing, what they got going on, right? Like, your focus and attention on your own stuff is so important. There's so much noise right now, and I get it, right? I get caught up in political things that really piss me off right now, that like I said, honestly, I wish I could just get on here and rant for about an hour, in order to like shake the foundations of what is going on. But I'm not going to do that, not today anyway, right? And so ceasing comparison, authenticity, having real conversations, right? Like, showing up authentically on here is so important. So less important now is like the flashy this, or the nice graphics, or the, worrying about having a virtual background. This is just me in my little bedroom slash office space. Okay. That is becoming less important. What's more important now is authentic and genuine conversations. Okay. And also, it's showing up, right? So Gary Vee's saying a lot of that right now is the showing up. I just read an article, or sorry, it was a YouTube video talking about creating like, how to create 64 pieces of content a day, right? Being everywhere. And this is what I'm doing right now. I'm not overthinking anything now. I am like, I'm on Twitter. I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Okay. And look, that might sound to you like, oh my gosh, how is she doing that? It doesn't take very much time, but you have to be smart and organized with your content. If you need some help with that, please reach out to me, because I just did a training inside of my private community. I was talking about reels, but I went into it, did a bit of a deep dive on this 5-step process that I use to actually create content that you can just repurpose everywhere. Again, no overthinking. It's quantity versus quality, right? And test what you're doing, right? Test what you're doing. This is what leaders do. This is how leaders show up as leaders before they actually have the influence, right? They show up and do the thing, and they say, I don't care. I'm going to put this up here right now. I'm going to put this up so that I can get my message across. I can use my voice and start having conversations with people. Okay. And then the conversation thing, right? So it's all about conversation. So what conversations are you having with your audience right now? Right? That's really, really important. The conversations I'm having are right now around being a 50-year-old woman and restarting, redefining the change, menopause, the fact that there are so many women out there, especially my age, who are undervaluing their skills, they're undervaluing their abilities, they're undervaluing their influence right now. And I can kind of see why it's interesting, because I put a short up on YouTube over the weekend, and I think it's almost at 6,000 views. Big deal. But that just tells me like what people are actually watching of mine on that platform. Okay, that's tracking. And there's a few like hater type comments, right? I was basically saying, what do you think? Like, women over 50 are taking over this online space, right? Which I'm like, yeah, I agree. And these two dudes, of course, got on. They're like, no effing way, like, no way. And I'm like, bugger off. But anyway, so these are the conversations that I am having right now. So, what are the really important conversations that you want to have right now? Because again, there's a lot going on this year, right? And so the fluff is gone, the playing around is gone, the self-doubt, toss it out the window, the overthinking, that's got to go too, right? So you need to hone in on the conversations that you're having, right? And really understand that networking, relationship building, I was talking about this last week on the live, really, really important. Okay. And so just remember that, super, 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 super important. Those are the conversations that I'm having right now. And I know many of you who follow me are similar to me. You've got maybe teenagers like I do. And here's the deal. Like, the truth is that yes, this can be the most powerful time for a woman who's over 40 or 45. Okay. And the biggest stumbling block that I see in that conversation is that women, like I said, they undervalue their skills, right? And so right now, it's not like, for you to step into that leadership role and grow your influence, it's not about lack of skills. Okay. It's self-doubt is what it is. Okay. It's questioning your worthiness, which is a huge one, right? And so what I want you to do, if you're watching this and you're like me and you're 50 or over 50 or 45 or whatever, okay, I want you to write down all the things that you're good at. I do this on a regular basis if I'm feeling crappy and I'm like in a, in a funk, right? I sit down and I write down all the things that I'm good at, like an exhaustive list. I'm not saying like, oh, I can think of, 5 things. No, an exhaustive list of things that you're good at, amazing things you've done, experiences you've had. I promise you, you do that and will completely change the way that you are thinking about yourself and your ability to show up right now powerfully. Okay. And so, no more self-doubt. We can't afford that anymore. There's no time, right? There's no time. We really need to focus this year and get down to the nitty-gritty, the conversations that you want to be having with the people you want to help and serve, because people are making different buying decisions. People, it's just different, and it's very, very crowded. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't grow influence. That doesn't mean you can't grow leadership on here. Okay. Leaders come from, all kinds of different places, experiences, backgrounds, circumstances, right? You know this already. Okay. So I hope you got some value from this today. And look, if you want to come into my private community, it's called the Confident Social Media Collective. I talk about this stuff all the time. It's free. I go in there and coach weekly for free. You can book in, a connect call, strategy call with me if you're thinking about business, if you want to level up in your business. This is a great time to do it. So I'll pop the link below. Have an awesome rest of your week. We will see you next Monday for Monday, whatever I'm calling this, Monday Live, Monday Musings. Anyway, have an awesome one. We'll see you soon.